The village of Hallowmere was a place where shadows lingered longer than they should. Old stone cottages leaned into wind, their thatched roofs dripping when the mist rolled in from a marsh. Few dared walk the lanes at night, especially near the churchyard, where crooked headstones leaned like broken teeth and whispers were said to travel on the air. It was there, under a pale October moon, that Daniel first saw her. The dare. Daniel was 21, a young man who'd grown restless of his small village life. That night he and his two friends, Marcus and Liam, had been drinking cheap ale near the green. The talk had turned, as it often did, to dares and bravery. You wouldn't last 5 minutes in the graveyard. Marcus jeered. Daniel smirked. What? Scare a few old bones. They say she's there, Liam murmured, his voice lower. The laughing woman. My Nan swore she saw her when she was a girl. Said she never slept right again. Daniel laughed it off, though a prickle ran down his spine. Fine. I'll go. I'll bring something back from the churchyard just to prove it. The others cheered, half in jest, half in fear. So Daniel set off down the narrow lane, lantern in hand, as the clock in the church tower tolled midnight. The graveyard. The gate creaked as he pushed it open. The air smelled of damp earth and moss. Lantern light flickered across the headstones, their names worn away by centuries of rain. See? Nothing here but mold, Daniel muttered. He kicked at a stone, the sound echoing too loudly. Then he heard it, a laugh. It wasn't cruel or loud. It was soft, melodic, like a woman trying to stifle her amusement. It came from somewhere near the old yew tree at the center of the graveyard. Daniel's throat tightened. He raised the lantern higher, its glow spilling across the crooked branches. And then he saw her, the woman. She stood in a long white gown, so pale it seemed to shimmer in the moonlight. Her hair was dark, falling over her shoulders. Her face, it was beautiful, but wrong somehow, the kind of beauty that unsettles rather than comforts. Her lips curled into a smile, and again she laughed, soft, lilting, like bells muffled under the earth. Daniel froze. Who are you?" he stammered. The woman tilted her head, eyes glinting. She didn't answer. Instead, she beckoned with one slender hand, motioning for him to come closer. Against his better judgment, Daniel stepped forward. Something in her gaze held him, pulled him, until he stood almost within reach. The air grew colder, the mist thickening around them. "Why are you laughing?" he asked, his voice shaking. Her smile widened, showing teeth that were just a little too sharp. Then she whispered, "Because you've already joined us." The darkness. Before Daniel could move, the lantern in his hand guttered and went out. Darkness swallowed him whole. He spun around, panic clawing at his chest. "Marcus? Liam," he shouted. No answer. Only the sound of laughter, now multiplied, echoing from all sides of the graveyard. High-pitched giggles, low chuckles, laughter that didn't belong to any living throat. Shadows stirred between the graves. Shapes rose from the ground. Figures half-formed, their faces stretched in grotesque smiles. Dozens of them, all laughing in unison. Daniel stumbled back, tripping over a stone. No, this isn't real. But it was. He could smell the rot of the earth clinging to them, hear the crack of bones shifting as they drew nearer. The woman in white stepped forward, her eyes now black hollows. She crouched beside him, placing a cold hand against his cheek. "You thought it was a dare," she murmured, "but it was an invitation." And with that, everything went dark. The return. Marcus and Liam waited at the edge of the lane, shivering in the night air. Minutes dragged into half an hour. "He should have been back by now," Liam muttered. Marcus tried to laugh, but it sounded hollow, probably hiding, trying to scare us. But when dawn broke and Daniel still hadn't returned, they went into the graveyard. His lantern lay shattered near the yew tree. Beside it was a patch of earth, freshly disturbed as if something or someone had been buried there. They never found Daniel. The aftermath. Weeks turned to months, and rumors spread through Hallowmere. Some said Daniel had run away. Others whispered he'd been taken, claimed by the laughing woman, just as old tales warned. Liam swore he heard laughter outside his window at night. Marcus refused to go near the churchyard again. And yet, sometimes, on misty evenings when the moon hung low, villagers swore they saw 3 figures standing near the yew tree, a woman in white, smiling with too many teeth, and a young man beside her, his eyes empty, his lips curved in a laugh that wasn't his own. They called him Daniel, but he never came home again. Closing note for narration. In Halimir, they say laughter is not always a sign of joy. Sometimes it is a warning, an echo from the dark, a call from beneath the soil. So if you ever find yourself in an old graveyard and hear a woman laughing, don't follow, because once you see her smile, it may already be too late.